One sport that gets constantly overlooked by sports bettors is the WNBA, and it can be an absolute goldmine. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite markets and my exact setup on how do I attack this sport. When the season tipped off back in May, I implemented what I'm going to share with you in this video and quickly earned over $600. And then when it comes to player props, I'm going to share my exact setup with you because I'm up almost $9,000 this year. And so you're going to be able to copy and paste this strategy and implement it today so that you can start earning. While baseball's going on, do not sleep on the WNBA. It can be a massive difference in your bottom line. The first two markets that we're going to focus on is the total points and point spread markets. Now, these are main markets when it comes to the WNBA. Now, we're going to be utilizing two sports books as our guides or sources of truth, meaning that the odds or prices that they set are the most accurate in the entire sports betting market. The first sports book that we're going to use as our guide is FanDuel. So when we're looking at the Fever and the Dream on the spread, let's say we wanted to take Caitlin Clark and the Fever at plus 5.5 points. As you can notice at the top, I'm not logged into FanDuel. When we type in the max wager size, you can see that there's $6,600 that we can currently wager on in this market. This liquidity, this $6,600 is a really big deal. The other sports book that we're going to utilize as a sharp book is Bookmaker. Now, again, with the Fever at plus 5.5, what you're going to notice is that the max wager size is $11,300. Over here at OddsJam, when we're looking at the Fever and Dream point spread, you can see that one of, if not the sharpest sports books in the world, Pinnacle, is only offering a liquidity limit of $3,000 on the Fever at plus 5.5. The reason that we're going to be utilizing Bookmaker and FanDuel as our sharp sports book or our guide is because we're going to be using a top-down sports betting strategy looking for bets that have positive expected value. Liquidity just means the amount of money that a book is willing to take on a wager. And so the books that offer higher liquidity, well, these are the types of books that the professional sports bettors or the betting syndicate groups are looking to target because they want to get down as much money as they possibly can. So these high liquidity books like Bookmaker and FanDuel, this is where the professional sports bettors are looking to get their action down because they can get more money down in these books compared to others. I also like to look at it like if I'm buying an item from Amazon and I look at one item that has a 4-star review from 3 people. Then I go over and look at its direct competitor that has a 4-star review from 4,000 people that reviewed this product. I have more confidence in the item that I'm purchasing that has 4,000 reviews compared to 3 reviews. It's the same exact thing with sports betting. The more higher liquidity books that accept these big wagers, I have more confidence in their odds or lines because their pricing is being shaped by sharp money. The software that I use that helps me find plays with an edge where we're getting paid out more than what we should, or we're just receiving a great price, is OddsJam's positive expected value tool. Guys, linked in the description will be a 1-week free trial to OddsJam, and then use my code BillyC, and it's going to save you 35% off your first month after the 1-week trial ends. So what you're going to notice here is that we're being recommended to bet the Dream at minus 5.5 at either NoVig or ProfitX. You can see that currently at the moment there's only about $600 in liquidity at NoVig. We're getting a great price at plus 105, and when we look at FanDuel at minus 110 and Bookmaker at minus 105, when you bring in the average odds between these two sports books, we're going to say that this is what? Minus 107 spot 5. This is a really good play over here on the Dream at minus 5.5. Remember, these two books compared to all of these books take the highest liquidity, so if we can find a play that's paying us out way more than what we should, we're going to want to place this bet on the Dream at minus 5.5. And so that's exactly what I did right here, placing this bet on the Dream at minus 5.5 at plus 106 odds for just under $200 that was available. We locked in great value and found a play that has an excellent edge utilizing our two sharp sports books. When it comes to the total points market, again, we're going to lean on Bookmaker and FanDuel. As you can see right here on the over-under between the Dream and the Fever, we're looking at the under. The max wager on Bookmaker is $5,400. Over at FanDuel, the max wager is just under $5,000. This has a much higher liquidity compared to Pinnacle. Pinnacle only accepts a max wager of $2,000 on the over or the under. That's not even half of what's being offered by Bookmaker or FanDuel, so that's why we're relying on these two sports books. Now, as you can see, as we scroll down just a touch on the under 161.5, we're receiving an incredible price again over at NoVig. And while there is $1,900 available in this market, That's not even close to what FanDuel or Bookmaker is going to offer us. Now, Pinnacle likes this at minus 120. FanDuel likes this at minus 118. We're getting a good price at minus 107. While it's not incredibly awesome to Bookmaker, a few other sharp sports books that I like to lean on think that this under is a good play, especially over at Circa, and it's not bad either over at BetOnline. Again, we're getting an extra point to a half of a point depending on which sportsbook you're using as your reference. This line right here over at FanDuel, they see it as a slight underdog at under 160.5. But again, we're getting an extra point at under 161.5. These are the little edges that sharp sports bettors use to identify good, solid bets. Once again, like we showcased earlier, there is $1,900 in liquidity. But remember, this is a mainline market play where we could wager $5,000 over at FanDuel or Bookmaker. So again, I'm going to go in for $250 on this under over here on the Dream Game. If you're serious about making money sports betting, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tap that bell notification so you don't miss the next video that release, and smash that thumbs up button. When it comes to total points and point spreads, I love to keep my odds range at a minus 175 to plus 130. Again, I can specifically set this up for the WNBA, and I can save this filter, guys, for main markets just as such. Right over here at OddsJam, you can see this Save Filter section. We can save the filter and automatically receive a notification. That way you don't have to sit out here on your laptop or your phone all day long clicking refresh. I always utilize the worst case DVIG method. I love to use a combination of either FanDuel or Bookmaker when it comes to these markets. For our final market, it's going to be player props. Now, I do not utilize Bookmaker as a sharp book for player props because they only take a max wager size of $250. Where over at FanDuel, they'll take this same exact play on Howard over on her points for $2,000. So it's very clear when it comes to player props, when I'm utilizing a top-down strategy with OddsJam, I'm using FanDuel as my sharp sportsbook. So again, in my filter section, I like to stick to the same odds range, but over here for markets, we're on player props, I'm only going to be utilizing FanDuel in worst case for player props specifically. And as you can see right now, there is a ton of opportunities on these player prop plays. And the beautiful thing here, because all of these plays are being recommended to us to wager on with no VIG, you can easily see the liquidity limits. And all of these liquidity limits are under $1,000, and FanDuel's going to let us wager $2,000 on a lot of these player prop lines. So no VIG, a sports book that does not limit you, is a book that I love to go after because the liquidity limits are lower than what FanDuel's willing to accept, and so this is where you can find a ton of fantastic positive EV plays. There's nothing more that I love when I open up this Breanna Stewart play under 18.5 points and I see that Circa and FanDuel have the same exact odds. One of my other sharp sports books that I like to utilize. It just provides more confidence, guys, when you can see the Pinnacles, the BetOnlines, the Bookmakers, the Circas of the world, when they all have similar odds to FanDuel. This provides even more confidence for me to go after and attack this play. Pairing the WNBA with MLB is how you're going to print money all summer long. And if you're looking for consistent, profitable markets to attack Major League Baseball, I've made almost $9,000 this season thus far. I made a how-to tutorial video on exactly the markets that I like to go after, very similar to this video. It's going to be the exact recipe that you need to start printing money off of these books. Click this video right here that's going to walk you through my entire baseball strategy setup. It's literally cutting in the front of the line so that you can just focus on the markets that are profitable, rinse and repeat, and watch the cash flow in.